with Anneliese. Very happy to be speaking to her again. As you can hear, I have a little bit of a chest cold, but I'm going to fight through it. I wanted to talk to you, Anneliese, because I thought you would have a really good insight on this matter, and this is something I've been just dying to be able to talk to somebody about who might be able to offer some insight on this point. Now, I only have you for a short time, so I'm going to keep the intro brief, but of course we all know that on September 10th, Charlie Kirk tragically was murdered on a college campus site in Orem, Utah. And after his murder, a lot has unfolded. There's been a lot of chatter online, and because we've been lied to about so many things over the last 25 years, nobody believes the official story. I shouldn't say nobody, but there's a bunch of people who don't believe the official story, and I think that's fine. I think, look into, if you're going to look into it and ask questions, I'm all for that. But one thing that has really troubled me about this particular, how things have fallen out in this particular go round, this particular this latest story that's unsettled everybody and gotten everybody arguing. But what's really bothered me is the way that the widow of Charlie, that is Erika Kirk, has received such hate in such volume from so many people, and it's really caught me off guard. I don't know what to make of it. It really bothers me. This is like, this is the widow. This is the woman who lost the love of her life. Suddenly, violently. It seems like she's the one we should be sending all of our good thoughts to, all of our prayers to. But it seems like for a lot of people, the very opposite has happened. Now, do you have any idea why? You're more sort of clued in with the evangelical scene. I don't know whether you would consider yourself an evangelical or not, but it's more your scene. I'm Catholic, so I'm sort of out of the loop a little bit in some ways. Although ironically, Erika is Catholic herself. But what do you think is going on here?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I'm with you as far as totally fine to question the narrative we've been given. I'm questioning the narrative we've been given, but to then turn and attack the widow has also unsettled me. And I have a few thoughts that came to mind as all this was erupting. Was I think that for some people, no reaction that she could have given, no response that she could have had would have been satisfactory for them. And so realizing that she would be under attack for any kind of response that she would have had to the murder of her husband, because that's just human nature. But the other thing I was thinking of, and maybe this is a little sinister, but I think it's accurate that in female nature, there is a thirst and a longing for secret knowledge. And you see this as far back as the first woman with Eve, and she was tempted, to eat the fruit because it was, there was multiple temptations, but the desire to make one wise was one of them. So I think it's kind of in female DNA to want to pursue hidden secret knowledge. And this event has kind of catalyzed that in women and given them a space for that. And so I tweeted this as a joke of I've seen so many people say, guys, things aren't adding up with Erika. But I've seen this same message over and over and over again, and they're saying it like it's something so profound, something we've never heard before.
Right.
And I'm like, I
there's
think
something off about her. That's
yeah,
basically that.
yes, there's something off, and I think it's women are enjoying this like sensation of, oh, I know something, and I have this special discernment, I have this special insight, and I'm seeing things that other people aren't seeing, and it's just kind of like the female power trip, I think.
So in your perception, is it mostly women who are leading the hate brigade?
I've seen a lot of women. I've seen men on Twitter say stuff like, if my wife, if I die and my wife is on a podcast smiling 2 weeks after I'm dead, like I'm crashing out,
Right.
And like it's, but I do see the
or
language.
If she forgives my killer,
Yes, yeah, right. And so I've seen it on both men and women, but the way I see it with women is generally that like, yeah, something's off, something's not right, and I'm not sure what it is, but I just really feel it. And it's kind of phrased as, if you don't see this, you're lacking discernment.
Yeah.
You don't really understand. So it's kind of a little pejorative, I feel.
You're just a chill. You're not really. Yeah.
Right.
Something along those lines.
Whereas,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, whereas I've never lost my husband, and so I'm observing, and I'm going, okay, I know that everyone grieves differently, and
yeah.
And I also know that, because of the particular way in which Charlie was killed, that had to have set a fire under her in a way that wouldn't, maybe if he had died like in a car accident or something like that. So the grief is mingled with, it's not just like grief, but it's also mingled with like the sense of this battle and this mission because of the way in which he died. So it makes sense that she's doing that she's on podcasts and stuff.
I saw how she was saying, this is not going to, we are not going to be stopped. This is not going to end, or we will not be silenced, something like that. Very determinedly, where I think she saw the assassination as an attempt to silence Charlie Kirk, but also silence their whole movement. And of course, she associates herself with him and with Turning Point and with this whole movement. It seems to me. So yeah, I can definitely see. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, but there are other people out there who just. Well, you started off by saying, if you're in the public eye, what no matter how you react, people are going to not. Some people aren't going to like it. If you cry too much, people are going to say you're overdoing it, and if you don't cry enough, quote unquote, and if you smile at the memorial service, and which I just wonder how many of the people who are criticizing her for that, how many of them have actually been to funerals? Because my mother died last year, for example, and every funeral somebody gets up and says something that was amusing or endearing about the deceased, and people laugh and smile, and it's not just everybody's not just weeping all the time and sad all the time, and so I just I wondered, I wanted to ask you too, is any part of it jealousy? Like, if this is coming from women, and we're talking about like a beauty pageant winner, who sort of has that beauty pageant way of talking that some people think comes across as insincere. I'm wondering if some women might, who are hating on Erika right now. I'm wondering if some of them are like looking at her and thinking, she reminds me of so and so from high school who, who was this mean popular girl who picked on me.
Right.
Is that possible?
Right.
Do you think that's
that's an
possibly
interesting
part of what's going on?
That's an interesting thought.
Because she's so glamorous and she's blonde and
I did see something about, it was a picture of her from her beauty pageant days in a swimsuit, and
right.
And it was like, someone commented and they were like, so, they said, oh no, Charlie Kirk had a hot wife. However, will he like live this? It was something,
Right.
that's the right response. It's like, what does this have to do with it? Like, big whoop. So she's beautiful.
Right.
Like, so
they
right.
were a beautiful couple.
Beautiful couple. So like, amazing. So, and that can, that gives jealousy a little bit. But that's an interesting theory. I hadn't thought about that, and I'd have to think about that more. Right. Yeah, she definitely is like, because she's a public figure, she's not, let's say, relatable, quote unquote, to like the average woman, in the way she presents herself and the way she, like, she's not relatable, and that's okay. So I think that maybe people don't find that, well, if I lost my husband that way, I wouldn't be. It's like, well, like, it's a different world, and I can look at that and separate myself and be like, yeah, this is a different kind of world. I'm just not in it. But I don't know. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, and everything, like, what really caught me by surprise by all of this was I was so impressed with her speech at the memorial. There were things about there were things about the memorial that didn't quite, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like the pyrotechnics and other things that I thought maybe detracted from this being a somber memorial service. But as far as what she had to say, it was so perfect, I thought, and she really put it like, and of course, the leftist women are leftists in general are going to hate her, and I'm sure when she was saying the stuff about when Charlie was out, I wouldn't complain or give him a hard time about when he was coming home. I would make sure to cook him a meal, and when he came home, I'd want him to feel comfortable. And all that sort of be there for your man stuff. You just knew feminists were absolutely losing their minds about that.
And that was such a beautiful part. I loved that.
I did too. But also, like, she said so many great things in that speech, and then the forgiveness line. I mean, I get how some people might think it's controversial, or I mean, there's so many people using the word quote performative unquote, like that's become this new
yes
this new thing, like you're criticizing, well, this new way to criticize people talking in public by saying it's just performative, and they say that the whole forgiveness, forgiving the killer was performative on her part, or that it was something that was cynically ginned up, like as a way to, like, I've heard so many things that I just thought were so out of line. And I'm not used to, like, I'm a critic of feminism, and I'm when I hear the word misogynist, I generally disregard it, because it's the kind of word that to me, like racist, it's
totally
most often
kind of meaningless.
Used, it's used with intellectual dishonesty, just to try to slam you, or try to depict you as a hateful person when there's no substance to it. But in this case, it was like, I felt like I was I felt like standing up for her and saying, "Come on, what's wrong with you people? This was a beautiful gesture,
Yeah.
but people got on her for that. They got on her for hugging Trump, like which I thought
I know.
was the most wholesome thing. Like it was just, I just saw it as, oh well, he's like a mentor. He's like a father figure to her.
Well, and how much he meant to Charlie. That makes perfect sense.
Right.
How much Charlie worked to get him elected.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, sure. And he didn't even look like he was expecting it. Like he didn't know it was coming. And then when he saw, oh well, she needs to hug me right now. He hugged her back, and it was a completely wholesome thing. But I mean, I saw people like construing it in the worst possible ways, like that she was a floozy, that she was throwing herself at Trump in a sexual way, or like just the most awful kinds of things.
And that's why I said, no matter what she did, there are some people for whom nothing she did will ever be acceptable or good enough.
Yeah. And it's strange. But why do you think that it's like it's this really strange like a scapegoat phenomenon. Like sometimes people just get piled on, who you wouldn't like. I can't.
Yeah.
Like this. The last person I would think of piling on, and or getting mad at, or holding any kind of suspicion towards, in this kind of situation, is the widow.
Correct.
So it just seems so out of line. But I know that even in saying this, I think I'm probably going to get some. I'll probably, when I post this, there'll probably be some people who take issue with me. There seems to be a segment of the right that is really, and it's part of the whole. I think it's part of the conspiracy culture. It doesn't have to. The thing is, it doesn't have to be. You can say, I don't believe the official story, and still, still properly feel sorry for Erika Kirk and want to
correct,
want to pray for her, want to send her your love, or what have you. But for some reason, she's getting. She's just getting a lot of flack, and like I don't know. You probably haven't ventured down like these rabbit holes, and I haven't really either in this case. But I mean, I'm thinking there are some theories out there that she was a part, like that was in on it. Have you heard?
Oh,
heard this?
Yeah, I briefly went down a rabbit hole on Threads, and then it was just like so dark, and I came up from it. But it's like when something really terrible happens, the human tendency is like make sense of it. And it seems to be that we have, because this was something that affected millions, we have millions all at the same time trying to make sense of it and doing it in a way that they don't really care who they slander or accuse. Trying to get there, trying to get the answer. And
Again, the only thing I can think of is how, her the whole glam factor with her, and like the fact that she was a pageant winner, and the fact that she's blonde, and that she dresses up, and she's not really what you would necessarily call a quote unquote down to earth kind or girl next door kind of figure. I think people see that and they maybe construe that in the worst possible ways. I mean,
totally.
I would have to say, I mean, I didn't know much of anything about Charlie Kirk before all of this, and since it happened, I went back and looked at. I've gone back and looked at a bunch of things, and one of the things that I've looked at are videos that they made together, that Erika and Charlie made together, and it looks like they're so in love. They're so they enjoy each other's company so much that they look like they're still in the honeymoon phase of their marriage. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the impression I had. I didn't get the impression at all that that she was just pretending to like him, or that there was anything insincere or impure about their interactions on her part. But I guess but the thing is, people will just retort to that. They'll just say, well, she's just a good actor. She's just pulling the wool over your eyes. And I mean, and the thing about people who say things like that is there's no disproving it necessarily. You can't say
right, exactly. Yeah.
It just becomes no, she's not. Yes, she is. No, she's not. Yes, she is. It's just like, and to me, it just looks like people who are trying to find the worst possible, who are seeing things that are there that maybe they might find off-putting, like her beauty and her glamour and her manner of talking, and the fact that she was a beauty pageant winner, and just sort of and that might be something that particularly activates itself in women. But
I don't know if you could maybe look at it through the lens of status. Because she's a high status person, and she's married to a very high status man. And sort of the like primal reactions around status might have something to do with that.
Yes, envy, is it envy or jealousy? Which would it?
I guess both. Well, envy is wanting something that somebody else has. A jealousy can mean good things. It can mean like, oh, I'm jealous for my spouse. But envy's like really, envy's the word.
Right.
But I think that like her, well, and even like, maybe people would disagree with this, but even getting up and saying, I forgive that person, that was like a high status move in a sense. Because you're taking away the power, right? Like from somebody else, and their power to make you live in bitterness. So like everything about her, just very high status, and we know how humans act around. There's a lot of status wounding that occurs.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. But when I thought she connected. She connected the forgiveness beautifully to what she saw as Charlie's mission, which is to reach what she called the Lost Boys. And of course, Tyler Robinson's going to get his day in court. He's innocent until proven guilty. But if he did it, he's definitely one of the Lost Boys that Charlie was trying to reach. And so there was something really moving about her making that connection, I thought, and forgiving him, even if it's not like she's it's sort of a. I thought the forgiving part was sort of she's letting it go, or she's trying to let it go, and working her way towards the forgiveness, but of course it can't be easy.
Right, and it's just like. That was one of the comments that people were making of like, they didn't like the forgiveness because they thought it assumed like less justice, but like that's not what forgiveness is. That's just saying, for my part, I'm not gonna live in bitterness, but justice belongs to the state, vengeance belongs to the Lord. Like the two aren't opposed to each other.
And it's possible that if he did it. And he saw that speech, maybe it moved his heart, or maybe it will at some point move his heart,
Right.
So I thought it was a beautiful. I just that again, that was part of what surprised me so much, or dismayed me so much about the turn things have taken over the last couple of weeks, because I was so really impressed by how she reacted to everything, and how poised she was, and in spite of what seemed very obviously, heartbreak, beyond imagining. So, well, thank you, Anneliese, for this little talk, and I knew you'd be able to maybe help me noodle this out, figure this out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Do you maybe we'll end on this note. Do you have, where do you think it'll go from here? Do you think that people will eventually just leave it alone, or is God forbid, is this going to like build and build and build?
I mean, I think because of the nature of this is that there's gonna be a trial, right? There's gonna be the next set of information that pops up, and so every time something is unearthed, and so I think it's gonna be a long. I was thinking about this, like, often on social media, there'll be an event and we all talk about it and we chatter about it, and then it stops. But I just think Charlie Kirk's death was different, and I think it's something that is just going to be incorporated in. It's not like we're going to talk about it, and then stop. It's like it's going to become woven into the conversation. It's going to become woven in, especially because there's going to be trials, there's going to be new information, and yeah.
It's just going to reverberate. It's been reverberating ever since it happened.
It has been. Yeah.
It's been an amazing thing to see people across the world, really react to this. People who didn't really know, like me, who I knew his name, I knew sort of who he was, but there was something about this event that really, it really hit me hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people, again, people who I wouldn't have necessarily have expected, people who I thought would be, critical, who would just think of Charlie as like some shill for Israel or some, some people on the right, who are of that particular orientation.
Right.
Even they were like, oh my God, this is so awful. This is so awful. And, emotional reactions and crying. So yeah, it's been pretty interesting.
It has been. Yeah.
And it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Right. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks again, Anneliese. And you can